Excuse me there. Hello everyone, I'm Paul the Nitro Skywers, and welcome once again to another edition of the Nitro Corner. We have a very good show today, as I will discuss in my topic this week, the role of a referee in professional wrestling, and of course, Sheamus' confrontation with John Laurinaitis. So let's begin. The role of the referee certainly has played a big part in the past couple weeks after WrestleMania. Of course, we all saw Sheamus Braun kick referee Chad Patton in the head, and we'll discuss his punishment in our next segment. But the role of the referee is unique in professional wrestling. I don't blame the other referees for wanting Sheamus fired. The role of the referee is simple. The referee is supposed to be the enforcer of the rules and regulations in professional wrestling. For instance, if a wrestler puts another wrestler up against the ropes or has an illegal maneuver on them, the referee counts to 5. If he gets to 5, he's disqualified. Or if the wrestlers are outside the ring, they have a 10 count to get back into the ring. They also have the other role is that they have to be consistent and fair, call it straight down the middle, and make judgment calls that some people can't make. Others can't make, but these referees can. Well, whether you agree or disagree with Chad Patton's decision a couple weeks ago when Alberto Del Rio defeated Sheamus by disqualification, Chad Patton had to make the decision. He ruled that even though we all knew Alberto Del Rio was faking it, the referee did not know. All he knew was Sheamus had the chair and Del Rio grabbed his head. He concluded that Sheamus must have used the chair to hurt Alberto Del Rio, thus the disqualification. Maybe it was a bad call, who knows, but it was the only call that Chad Patton could make. That being said, he had no business getting kicked in the head by Sheamus. That's wrong. That's crossing the line. You can't do that. And the referee's job always is a hard job. A hard job is a thankless job, but it's a job nonetheless that is done to the absolute professionalism that these referees do each and every week. Now, with that being said, I agree with the referees for firing Sheamus, or they feel that Sheamus should be fired. You can't do that. You can't kick someone in the head so hard like that and force him on the shelf for the next few weeks. That takes food off the table of his family. Can't do that, Sheamus, but I will give Sheamus credit. The very next week after he done that, he offered an immediate apology for attacking referee Chad Patton and to all the other referees. But be that as it may, the role of the referee is to call the match down the middle and to enforce the rules and regulations of professional wrestling. If they do cross that line and they do something illegal, the referee should be held accountable for what they did. But if they do their job and yet they still get beat up by the wrestler, then that wrestler should immediately face at least a 60-day suspension without pay and at least a $10,000 fine should be in order. Now that we've discussed the role of the referee in professional wrestling, let's discuss this week's confrontation between Sheamus and John Laurinaitis, Mr. Personality. Because after the incident involving Chad Patton, Mr. Laurinaitis decides that he wants to play the judge, the jury, and the executioner. So what does he do? He puts Sheamus on permanent probation. Ain't there supposed to be a time period for probation? Maybe 60 days, maybe 90 days, maybe 3 months at the latest? Excuse me, but no. We got John Laurinaitis. You're on permanent probation, meaning if you even touch a referee, accidentally or on purpose, you will be fired. You notice the stern look on his face, and I mean it, on his face, thinking he's really going to intimidate Sheamus. And then on top of all that, here's the big insult to justice itself. John Laurinaitis stated, and I quote, "I am also going to institute the largest fine in professional wrestling history and in WWE history, $500,000. Did you notice Sheamus look at his face? What? Really, John? You pain in the ass? $500,000? Where in the heck is he going to get the money for that? Sheamus don't get paid no $500,000 in his salary. He may get $150,000 a year, along with endorsements and stuff. But how in the heck is he going to come up with $500,000? Do you have a excuse me there? Do you have a payment installment plan for him to pay the $500,000 off? Or you want a one lump sum? I want $500,000. You know, it was you that wants the $500,000 to put in your pocket. Really, John? Really? $500,000? You can take your $500,000 and stick it, son, where the sun don't shine. $500,000. Really? Use some logic here. God. And then on top of all that, Sheamus gets to face Daniel Bryan at Extreme Rules in a 2 out of 3 falls match. On a side note, Daniel, you want to slap Roddy Piper? Really? And then you got your head kicked in by Sheamus. Yay! You're a punk, Bryan. You're a punk. 2 out of 3 falls Sheamus will kill you 2 straight. Anyway, back to Mr. Sheamus and John Laurinaitis. And then he orders Sheamus to be in a tag match against Alberto Del Rio and Daniel Bryan and his partner, Mean Gene Okerlund. Now, let me get this straight. Now, let me focus here on this. Mean Gene Okerlund. Mean Gene Okerlund is a commentator. He only wrestled 1 time. He was barely in there 3 minutes. He teamed with Hulk Hogan to beat George the Animal Steele and Mr. Fuji in 1984 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's the one and only time that the Mean One, Mean Gene Okerlund, was a wrestler. He's a commentator. All he was in the ring doing an interview. Of course, Mr. Laurinaitis wants to stir the pot a little bit and force Okerlund to wrestle. What did Gene Okerlund ever do to you, John? Did he say something about you on the WCW hotline at 1-900-909-9900? I remember the phone number, by the way. Wow, that's awesome. Anyway, does he really piss you off? No. So why should you put him in a tag match? Stupid. And once again, yes, I'm calling you out, Laurinaitis, on your stupid stuff. And that was yet again another example of being stupid. So basically, John Laurinaitis' punishment is all a bunch of BS. He wants the $500,000 in his pocket. He wants to make Sheamus' life a living you-know-what. And he wants to antagonize Mean Gene Okerlund. Ooh, real cute, John. Go home, John. Because as general manager, you are a loser. Loser. And that is it for this edition of the Nitro Corner. Thank you for joining us this week. Unfortunately, I do not have any other further information about 1CW. I'm still working on it. And when I get it, you will get it right here on the Nitro Corner. Also, a little reminder, next week will be our 200th video. That's right, number 200. And I'll have something good for the 200th video of the Nitro Corner. Until then, this is Paul the Nitro Skivers here at number 199, getting ready for 200. Saying so long, everybody. We'll see you next week for number 200.